Now, moving on to political science, the first chapter, our constitution. The law of governs the states is the constitution. The law which governs the state is the constitution. The meeting of new constituent assembly was held on 11th December 1946. The chairman of the drafting committee of the constitution was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Our constitution provides for a democratic system of government. The state where the people enjoy sovereign power is called as sovereign republic. Our constitution provides for single citizenship to its citizens. The right for constitutional remedies has been incorporated in the Article 32. The directive principles of state policy are borrowed from Irish constitution. So the first question now, who was the president of the Constituent Assembly? It was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. So when did the constitution come into force? 26 Jan 1950. What does the preamble to the constitution contain? The preamble to the constitution contains the fundamental policies and ideas of the constitution. It is the sum of the structure, value, principles and goals of the constitution. It is based on the aspirations and ideals of the people of India. So what do you mean by secularism? See, in India, the citizens have the liberty to practice any religion they desire. No religion has been given the status of a national religion. So this is called as the secularism. So explain the salient features of our constitution. See, written and lengthy constitution, flexible and rigid constitution, parliamentary form of government, republican system, federal system, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, independent and centralized judiciary system, single citizenship, adult franchisee, bicameral legislature, party system. So these are the salient features of our constitution. Which are the fundamental rights incorporated in our constitution? See, right to liberty, right to equality, right against exploitation, right to religion, right to education and culture, and right to constitutional remedy. So these are the fundamental rights incorporated in our constitution. So make a list of the fundamental duties. So to respect the constitution, national flag and national anthem, to follow the noble ideas that inspired our national struggle for freedom, to protect the integrity of India, like unity of India, to defend the motherland when called upon to do so, to promote the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, to preserve our rich heritage, to protect and improve the natural environment, to develop the scientific temper and the spirit of inquiry, to safeguard public property and leave the violence, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual, means in all forms of an individual and collective activities. The father or the guardians should provide an opportunity for education to their children from the age of 6 to 18 years. So these are the fundamental duties. Which are the directive principles of state policy? See, to provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens. So all citizens should get the proper food, clothing and shelter. So these are the livelihood. So it should be provided to all the citizens. To prevent the community wealth and resources from becoming the private property of few people. Only few people should not be rich. To provide equal pay for equal work for both men and women, and to protect labor welfare, to provide public assistance to those who are old, sick, weak or helpless, to implement a uniform civil code throughout the country, to provide opportunities for healthy development and preschool education to all children below 6 years, to protect the historical monuments and maintain main tall places of historical interest, to separate the executive and the judiciary, to protect international peace and respect international laws, to establish gram panchayats, to encourage rural and cottage industries, to organize and develop agriculture and animal husbandry on modern lines, to ensure prohibition of liquor, to ensure development of farming based on scientific methods. So, moving on to the second chapter in political science, the union government. India is a union of states. The union legislature is called parliament. The chairman of the Rajya Sabha is the vice president. One has to complete 25 years to become a member of Lok Sabha. The commander-in-chief of the three armed forces, army, navy and the land force, is the president. The process for electing the president is explained under Articles 54 and 55 of the Constitution. The chairman of the Union Public Service Commission UPSC is appointed by the president. So answer the following questions. Name two houses of the parliament. It is the lower house or the Lok Sabha we call it, upper house or the Rajya Sabha. Explain the composition of the Rajya Sabha. See, the Rajya Sabha or the upper house is a permanent body. It is not dissolved like Lok Sabha. It consists of 250 members. We are talking about Rajya Sabha. So, it has 238 members are elected by the members of the state assemblies and union territories. The remaining 2 members who are experts from various fields like literature, art, science, social work are nominated by the president. So, this house is also known as the House of Elders. The term of the members is 6 years. The vice president is the chairman and the deputy speaker is chosen from among the members. So, what are the qualifications needed to become a member of Lok Sabha? So, should be a citizen of India, must not be less than 25 years, should not hold any office of profit, under the government, should not be a person of unsound mind, means mentally they should be in good health, should not have been punished under law, should possess qualifications as specified by parliament from time to time. See, explain the election process for the post of the president. See, president is elected by an electoral college of elected members of both the houses of the parliament. All elected members of the legislative assemblies of all states, New Delhi and Pondicherry. The Supreme Court judge administers his oath of office. His term of office is 5 years. He is eligible for re-election. When he goes against the constitution, he can be removed from the office of the parliament through a motion of impeachment. List out the powers of the Prime Minister. See, appointment and removal of ministers and allocation of departments. He is the head of the government. He is the head of the Union Cabinet. Explain the composition of the Union Cabinet and its responsibilities. See the composition. What is it made up of? The Union Cabinet is the real executive and has ministers in 2 hierarchies. The first one is the cabinet level and the second is the Minister of State. The maximum strength of the Union Cabinet is 15 of the total strength of the Parliament. See, now coming to the responsibilities of the Union Cabinet. The Cabinet has 2 kinds of responsibilities. The Minister of Eve, that is the department is responsible for the administration of his department. He has individual responsibilities for the success or failure of his department. The Union Cabinet has collective responsibility to the Parliament with regard to the decisions and policies taken by it. Therefore, the Cabinet can be in power only as long as it enjoys the trust of the Parliament. When it loses the trust, it has to be removed by a non-confidence motion. Moving on to the next chapter of political science, the state government. The governor nominates one Anglo-Indian to the state legislative assembly. The Karnataka Legislative Council comprises of 75 members. The state cabinet comprising the Council of Ministers and the Chief Minister is the real executive. The governor is appointed by the president. So moving on to the questions. Explain the structure of the Legislative Assembly. The strength of the Legislative Assembly or Vidhana Sabha depends on the population of the state. This is the first point. The maximum number of seats of any Vidhana Sabha should not exceed 500 or be below 60. However, the number of seats in small state is lesser. The Speaker and the Deputy Speaker are elected from among the elected members of the Assembly. The members of the Assembly are elected for a term of 5 years. However, the Assembly may be dissolved before the expiry of the full term on the recommendation of the Cabinet. At that time, the state will be under President's rule. So moving on to the next question, which fields are represented by the members of the Legislative Council? See, the members of Legislative Council represent 5 fields. See, some are elected from among the members of the Legislative Assembly itself or local bodies, graduate constituency and the teachers constituencies. The governor nominates some members who are experts in the field of art, literature, education, social service, science. Members who have completed their term retire. What are the qualifications and the term of office of the governor? So, he or she should be a citizen of India, should not be less than 35 years of age, should not hold any office of profit under the government, should not be a member of either parliament or state legislature. If he is a member of either, he should resign from that post when he is appointed as the governor. The term of the office of the government is for 5 years. Write a short note on the Chief Minister. See, the Chief Minister is the head of the state government. Success or failure of the state government depends on his personal charm, means how active he is. He is the repository of all the power of the state. He is the head of the Council of Ministers, legislature, and the leader of the majority party in the government. The Chief Minister should be a member of any one of the 2 houses. Even those who are not members of either house can become the Chief Minister. However, he has to become a member of any one house within 6 months. So, the next chapter, the judiciary. The Supreme Court came into existence on Jan 28, 1950. The State Advocate General is appointed by the Governor. The criminal courts came into existence on 1st April 1974. The lowest land tax court is the Tahsildar Court. How are the judges of the Supreme Court appointed and what are their qualifications? See, the President nominates the Chief Justice and the other judges of the Supreme Court. The qualifications of the Supreme Court judges are: should be a citizen of India, should have served High Court for at least 5 years, or should have been an advocate for the High Court for last 10 years, should be a distinguished jurist. What are the functions of High Court? See, it takes up civil and criminal disputes, marital relationships, contempt of court, etc. These kinds of cases. It admits appeals in civil and criminal cases from the subordinate courts. It directs transfer of cases from the lower courts to the High Court to supervise the working of the subordinate courts, to admit writ petitions to safeguard the fundamental rights and other legal rights of the citizens. Which are the subordinate courts under the civil courts? See, subordinate courts: Court of Subordinate Judges, Court of Additional Subordinate Judges, Court of Munsifs, Court of Additional Munsifs. What was the purpose of establishing Lok Adalats? When did they come into existence? In India, the legal procedure is time consuming and expensive. So, government want this Lok Adalat function faster and are less expensive. This gives importance to compromising of cases. So, the next chapter, political science, the election system. The electoral roll is revised every year. The public election campaign comes to end before 48 hours of election day. The recognition of political parties is accorded by the Election Commission. The independence of journalism is protected by the Press Council of India. Write a note on electoral roll. See, the voters list is the list which contains the names and certain other details of the voters. It is also called as the electoral roll. The electoral roll is prepared by the election commission much before the elections itself. Electoral roll is revised every year. At the time of revision, the names of those who have attended the age of 18 are included and the names of the dead are deleted. The electoral roll helps the polling officials to identify the voters. The electoral photo identity cards, the EPIC, are issued to all the eligible voters by the Election Commission to prevent impersonation. EPIC is also used as a proof for general identification of the citizen. Justify, the political parties are the link between elected representatives and people. Political parties are necessary in the democratic setup. Political parties are the link between representatives, government, and the people. They play a major role in formulating policies for social and economic progress. Political parties become a training ground to develop leadership qualities. Write a note on coalition governments. Many a time, no party gets the required majority to form the government. So, such a situation is called as the hung parliament. In such a situation, some of the political parties join together to make alliance to get the required majority to form the government. Such alliance is called the post-poll alliance. At certain times, two or more than two parties join together to make alliance before elections. This type of alliance is called as pre-poll alliance, means before the election. See, pre-poll or post-poll alliance helps political parties to join together to form the government when there is a hung parliament or assembly. Such a government formed with the cooperation of different political parties is called as coalition government. The political parties of coalition government share power and responsibilities by joining Council of Ministers. Moving on to the next, Political Science 6th chapter, Defense of the Nation. The main objective of our defense policy is protecting the sovereignty. The commander-in-chief of our three armed forces is the president. The chief of the army is called the general. The headquarters of the defense ministry is in Delhi. The Hindustan Shipbuilding Yard is at Vishakhapatnam. The Border Security Force Training Center is in Yelahanka in Bangalore. The Indian Red Cross Society established in 1920. What is the naval base near Karwar known as Seabird? Which are the four divisions of our defense ministry? The defense section, the defense production section, the defense research and development section, retired defense personnel welfare section. Explain the structure of the Indian Army. The headquarters of the Indian Army is in Delhi. Its head is known as the Commander-in-Chief. He has a Deputy Commander-in-Chief, General, Major General, Brigadier, Military Secretary and a Military Engineer to assist him in his work. The Army consists of infantry, cavalry, tank regiment called as the Armed Corps and the Gunners Regiment. There is a supply and engineering branch too. The army has been divided into 7 commands for administrative convenience. Each command is under the charge of a general officer, means commander-in-chief, of the rank of lieutenant general. Which are the commands of the army? There are 7 commands of the army. Western Command at Chandi Mandir in Chandigarh, Eastern Command in Kolkata in West Bengal, Northern Command at Udhampur in Kashmir, Southern Command at Pune in Maharashtra, Central Command at Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, Training Command at Moh in Madhya Pradesh, Northwestern Command at Jaipur in Rajasthan. Explain the functions of the Indian Air Force. The Indian Air Force works very effectively and courageously both during war times and peace times. It has succeeded in ensuring safety, security, and stability. The headquarters of the Air Force is in New Delhi. It is organized into 5 operational commands and 2 functional commands. What are the qualifications required to recruitment to the army? Means if you want to join army, should be service oriented, patriotic, and ready to sacrifice their lives for the sake of the country, and also be familiar with the multicultural fabric of the nation. However, there are certain conditions with regard to physical requirements, mental health, general education, and technical knowledge also have to be met. When recruitments are made to the lower post of the army, they are made according to the percentage of recruitmentable male population RMP and the state and the union territories. Recruitment of women to the 3 armed forces takes place through the Women's Special Entry Scheme WSES. What are the aims of NCC? What are its advantages? See, the aims of National Cadet Corps are, children, I would like to tell you one thing. In 10th standard, most of the schools don't have NCC, but in college you have. Please, when you join the college, please join NCC. It's a great opportunity for you all to explore yourself and the strength and courage within you. So now, the aims of National Cadet Corps are to develop among the students a sense of discipline, leadership qualities, friendliness and service-minded. It is a body of discipline and trained youth force which comes to the rescue of the nation during emergencies. They given various concessions are as follows. Those who have received NCC training can join the armed forces very easily. So what are the positiveness I'm telling you now? Cadets who have earned distinction during training are given seat in professional colleges. Cadets are given training in handling weapons. During training, cadets go on adventures like hiking, trekking, gliding, scaling, or mountaineering and sailing, etc. Students who have received NCC training can secure admission in any defense school. Explain the organization of the Indian Red Cross Society. The Indian Red Cross Society is a humanitarian voluntary organization and has nearly 700 branches as state and union territories. Its headquarters are in Delhi. The Indian President is its chairman. A Secretary General is its administrative officer. It has an administrative body consisting of 19 members and a secretary. President nominates 6 members, whereas the remaining 12 members are elected from the state and union territories. The Red Cross Society renders valuable service to people during natural calamities and other emergencies. So, Political Science 7th chapter, National Integration. India is a secular country and so does not oppose any religion. Communalism is a major obstacle to national integration. Republic Day is a national festival. India considered 22 languages as national languages. Our national animal is tiger. What is meant by nationalism? See, nationalism is the strong belief that a people who share a common language, law, uniform administration, history and culture should constitute an independent nation free of foreign domination. What do you mean by national integration? National integration refers to that situation where all the people of that country feel they are one, although there are differences with regards to race, religion, culture and language. Which are the factors that lead to the unity in diversity? Geographical unity, political unity, religious unity, linguistic language unity, cultural unity. Thus, amidst diversity, though we have diversity, there is unity among Indians. The feeling of we all are one is deep rooted in the mind of every Indian. So, which are the factors that promoting national integration? secularism, democracy, national festivals, national symbols, and interdependence of the central government and state government on one another. So next I'll be doing the sociology. Please do watch it.